Alright, what's going on, you guys? What's going on? As y'all can see, we're in a new scenery today. I'm currently out of town right now, and I'm actually low key sleepy. So once I'm done recording this and editing this, I'm for sure about to crash real quick before we get ready for Tokyo Open tonight. Once again, last week we had a beautiful markets. For the most part, every trade that I called out to start the week, the sales that we caught on Nas, even the inverted head and shoulders that y'all saw me post about earlier this last week, and then I believe there was like another trade that played out on gold as well, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that, but I know obviously in our chats I've been killing it over there on gold. But for this week, new results. Like I like to say, last week's results don't matter. Can we duplicate it again this week? Can we have that same exact success? Um, like I always tell all the time, this is like y'all get my raw reaction when I'm finally first hopping back on the charts. I haven't even looked at the charts at all since Thursday. Thursday? Yeah, I didn't even trade Friday. I didn't trade Friday. Thursday night was the last trade I took over there on Nas and well goals that I took a Nas trade, aka NQ, and then we took a gold trade as well for the sales, and that's how I ended my Thursday night. I didn't even look at the charts on Friday, um, or trade it at all for that matter. So I'm about to get ready to share my screen. We're about to get ready to take a look at how the markets played out. Well, not even necessarily how the markets played out, but we're going to talk about what am I looking for this week on the charts and what can we expect. Hey man, all I'm gonna say is leave a like on this video if you haven't already. Cause I tell you, part of me was like, man, I could just take a nap and then wake up and then give them a breakdown video after that. But I'm like, you know what? Nope. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna make sure I get y'all right. I'm gonna make sure I give y'all some trades to look for before the market even open, as well as when market open. And for this week, honestly, I'm gonna just go down the list. We're gonna go Nas, US 30, and then go for all my beginners and new. Well, I guess beginners and new people that's learning how to trade futures. Nas 100 is the equivalent of NQ. They move exactly the same. They are the same pair, just a different market. US 30 is equivalent to YM. Right, same pair, just different two markets. Gold is equivalent to GC. GC and gold are the same pair, just two different markets. The prices might be at two different price areas, but the price does not matter. I want y'all to focus on just the market structure and the candlestick structure, like the shape that you're seeing at the retest. Take those same exact setups as you will see on whatever pair you're trading. Obviously, only the pairs that are in sync with each other. Nas and Q, YM and US 30, Gold and GC. Or if you're trading the micros, then obviously MGC, MNQ, and MYM. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, y'all got some homework y'all need to go back and do. But for right now, that's not what this video is. We're just going over what I want to see for the week, where we are at currently, and overall the direction like I'm trying to be on with the market. So I'm gonna delete everything real quick. Let's start fresh. Let's go higher time frame real quick. 4 hour day chart. What are we seeing? The bigger story, I think I talked about this last Sunday. We're still ranging, right? We were still in the zone. Only thing that was beautiful from last week was we finally got the downtrend. So this was the highs that the market never came back to tap into. And then as you can see, it was dropping lower high, came back to retest, lower high, creating a lower high, gave us the bounce for the buys, still creating lower high, still failing and struggling to tap into these structures. So as of right now, technically we're in a downtrend. If we're trading from a day trading and scalping standpoint, if we're trading from a bigger overall standpoint, overall, Nas 100 is still just ranging, right? This is a big old. I can just draw the zone like this until they really break out this bubble again. We don't know which direction that is going in. From a day trading standpoint, scalping standpoint, we can trade the intraday, just scalping, seeing the pullbacks, catching the overall moves of what we're looking for. But from a bigger picture, we have to wait and see what's the overall big move. Now, with that being said, though, the market, like I said, is creating many lower high stretches, right? It's coming back to these zone levels. Pay attention to this little mini trend line we got right here, right? Oh, I can go back to the day at this point. As the trend line is consistently getting tapped into, we're getting close back to the main support, right? And it's gonna get to a point where if you know how to trade trend line, you understand like the margin of the pullback starts to range, it starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter until eventually the market is either going to break this trend and go for new highs, which I'm already kind of like expecting anyway, just off of the history of Nas, as you can see, strong uptrend here, or it continues to struggle here. So let's say we go here, 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 here. News drop. For whatever reason, Trump said something. Now we get a random breakout for the downside. So it can either go downside breakout and drop here, or as the momentum die down, as it starts to get smaller and smaller, it decides it finally want to break and come back to all-time highs and then do what it decides to do. So like that's kind of like the overall bigger picture of what I want y'all to start paying attention to and just being just more aware of as the week get on, right? News for the week before I get into everything for real. We don't, as of right now, Force Factory didn't update everything, but as of right now, it seems like it's gonna be a calm week on the charts. Nothing too crazy. No news Monday, no news Tuesday, AUD news on the Wednesday, and then unemployment claims on Thursday. So this looks like a pretty dry week. It should honestly be a pretty chill week on the charts before we get back into, I guess, the next week after. Right, next week after is going to be, I almost was about to say it's NFP week. It should be NFP, but it's not NFP. Oh, that's why, because it's not the first Friday. The first Friday will be the next week. That's when it's going to be NFP. All right, cool. But where we are at currently, market should be chilling, which means we should have a pretty smooth, calm week for open, for Tokyo. Honestly, I'm going to have to backtest and see how Tokyo is when it's not really a lot of news. Because one or two things are going to happen, right? I'm going to give you some game. One or two things are going to happen. First, it's either going to consolidate during New York. New York is going to be slow and choppy. And then we're going to see Tokyo and London be our big moves that we wanted to see during New York session. Or vice versa. Tokyo is going to be slow and choppy. And then New York is going to be taking off for big moves. It's not going to be a lot of opportunities to catch both sides during New York. I feel like it's probably going to be like a one-sided type of week where it's like one big move at open. You might get one retracement, and then there's just the final continuation. And after that, it will have to just be a scalper free for all that. Nothing too crazy. So with that being said, I might just focus on. I'll be trading on Tokyo anyway. Y'all know this, but I might just make that my bread and butter. Now, enough about all of that. Let's get into what's as of right now, what I'm seeing on the charts. What am I looking for going into the week? So we got our support, right? So originally we talked about how it wasn't even right here, it was right here. We talked about how this was supposed to be the neckline for the head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. Market gave us that beautiful buy push, lower high. Market sold off last, right? Now we're back at the main key support structure, right? It sold off here on Friday. Market dumped, came all the way back here. What I want to see is one or two things. I mean, I got two plays I want to see. My preference would be at open. I would love Nas to come back down here, back to the support structure, back to this wick, and then we could potentially look for buys for the rest of the night, back up into this stretcher. That's my main what I would love to see, right? Beautiful. Come back to this stretcher right here. Stop loss under, buy entry here, and then we could potentially look for like literally a full swing back up into this stretcher right here. Here. And obviously, I know I got my main TP targets, but we go here, we go here. I'm just gonna give y'all two main TPs, because as y'all know, Sunday nights are usually the nights where it really pushes and set the tone for the week. So let's say we get this entry here. Cool. That's 400 points. Well, my fault. That's 500 points. And this is a full 900. Cool. Not bad. And I got to remember that because we on a higher time frame too. So I'm looking at it based off the 4 hour time frame. If I came down here, for my people that's in my Discord, y'all know technically I'll give y'all like my standard TPs, which are probably here. And that's just 60 points and 120 points. We don't even. Now look at this. Look how realistic it is for our TP to get smashed. But that also means how volatile the market is. And now that I'm seeing that too, because like I said, I didn't trade Friday. Now that I'm seeing like how volatile it is, this is gonna be a week y'all might. And volatile, when I say volatile, I'm referring to like how the range of pips that people are catching, like how it's moving. So like when it moves like that, these are the weeks where I tell y'all, okay, cool, size down on your trade, size down on your contract sizes, so that way like you can still trade your same setup, but now you're not risking or overexposing yourself just because the market has like the pullbacks and the levels that it has to tap to are bigger than what it usually would on a normal day, right? So hopefully that helps. But I'm gonna just do main TPs right now for y'all. Discord, I'll probably get y'all some more TPs later on, like the standard TPs. But overall, big moves for my swing traders, for my people that's like me. These are my levels. Technically, I said here, but this structure right here, I'm gonna add this TP right here. Because as you can see, this was the last previous main. This is where it fake break out the zone and it came back to for the bias. So this is gonna be the same reason why we saw Friday. This area was like it tapped there and it started wicking. Cool. That's what we're gonna look for. So tonight, main move what I want to see. Retest back to the wick. It could push into the stop loss. I honestly don't care. Once it closes back above this zone, we take buys at 28,420, and then we're looking to target 1, 2, or 3 area. That's three different TP options. Clean, right? On the flip side, and I'm only going to do 2 setups so that way I'm not making this video too long. On the flip side, Nas love potentially just running. At open, it can just run off. It don't even got to come back to a retest. It can just slowly push out this zone right here, tap into this wick, and then just continue to go back to the highs. It might not come all the way here, but I'm expecting it to like really come somewhere just here. Not nowhere too crazy. And I know y'all heard me say zone. Why did I say zone? My range is gonna be like from here to here. So push back above where I'm considering this is a resistance because this was the last wick on Friday. So push back above to this wick. It has to break, it has to retest, and then we take buys off of the continuation. What could potentially happen? This could be invalidated if it just literally pushed to the wick and starts selling off. That's also a scenario, but I'm not about to do all that right now over here on YouTube. I just, like I said, I'll just leave that for the Discord. So main entry 1, I just gave y'all main entry 2. Once it pushes out here, boom, simple. Here, here, simple. Stop loss is just gonna be under the zone. I don't know how much we will be risking. It's kind of steep. Let me bring this down a little bit. I gotta remember I'm on a 4-hour looking at this and not my 1 and 15. Cause right here, nah, that still look realistic. All right, so this will be the risk, and then this will be the reward. And for all we know too, even though I want it to just come right here, technically it can come all the way back to the house. So if it runs, it runs. But this is a more safer trade to take profit at, and this is another safer trade. You know what I want to talk about? Dang, I wasn't even gonna do that in this video. You know what? I'm gonna record that later on tonight. I'm not gonna record that video right now. I'm gonna set up later on, cause that's a like taking profit. You can never lose if you TP. That's all I'm gonna say for right now. You can never lose if you TP. I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna stop because I want to actually make another video. So that's gonna be Nas. That's my 2 setups. I'm gonna give y'all for Nas. US30 honestly looks ugly. This pair just looks so disgusting. So disgusting. I honestly don't even like how it's looking. But it's gonna be one of them days where like, one of them weeks where I tell y'all I'm not touching it until it comes back to a certain level. If you're new here, that's kind of like how I trade 30, or how I used to trade 30. I still trade like that, but how I used to explain it back in the day, like in my live chat when we go live. Excuse me. When we go live, I used to always say like, man, if 30 don't come back to this price area, I'm not entering. Like I would literally just set buy limits. I wouldn't mind taking the buy limit here, because okay, it's right on the wick. But then it's also 50-50. It just depends on how the market open, because it can easily just bounce. Not even bounce. It can easily push there and decide that they just want to run off for today and come back to target these lows down here, 51,400 area, and then decide that they want to buy. So yeah, I'm not really feeling that. What I am feeling though, even though normal circumstances, I would take that right here, and then just basically this move that we saw right here is the same exact thing I'm expecting to look for. What I want to see, you know what? I already got 2 levels. I can give us 1 entry here. Yeah, that's not bad. It's gonna be similar to the Nas trade, right? So we're gonna look for. I gotta stop doing that. Oh my gosh, man! Act like you know how to teach. Retest back to here. Once you close back out, take buys. Close back above the zone, take the buy entry. Simple. And then I'm just going to keep it simple. Target this lower high structure right here. And then we're going to target this structure right here. So this would be, and really that's a little bit too much. Standard, 120 points. And then we can go 250 points for the second trade. For the swing traders, we can go 450. Or AKA, you can't really swing trade in futures anyway. So for my indices traders, that's 4,000 pips. Stop loss with literally same exact concept as Nas. Chill right under the zone. Entry option number 2 though could be clean as well. It just depends on like if it retests or not. Because if it doesn't retest or come nowhere near here at Sunday open, it's probably just gonna I like this zone right here too. So like if it break here, come back above here, stop loss will just be I ain't gonna say tighter, but it'll have to sit like right there. Only reason why I wouldn't like this entry because I can see to the left this is key resistance, but that's also why this would be a peak TP. 62 point TP. And then if it break it, then you go for the higher target right there. Yeah, I do that. I hope I just downloaded that first one before I just, okay, I did. Dang, but I didn't download the other Nas. Terrible. Alright. TP1, TP2, full swing, TP, buy entry, stop loss. I'm kind of going through this kind of fast. This wasn't that bad. Also, like, because at first I wasn't going to give you, like, for US 30, usually, like I said, if it don't come here, I don't want to take it. And if, as far as sales go, I'm not even thinking about selling until it comes back up into here. Here or here. That's the only way I sell. Unless I get a retest all the way back to 52,800, this will be my sell entry. That's it. Entry up here. Tight stop loss above the high. TP targets. Like here, here, here. That's it. This is so choppy. I'm not. I don't care about. Whenever it look like this, I'm like, bro, you just look ugly. I have no desire to trade inside this, especially when it's just wicks, like long wicks here, long wicks there. That means like when I see it's better now because over here we finally established where I support at. But whenever I see like a long wick, when it starts to sell off over here, like let's say I'm looking at the market, I guess I can give you a little lesson real quick before we go to gold. When it's right here, right, you have no idea where the support is going to be at. Any one of these levels could play as a support. So that's why even if I was looking for sales, I would know like I don't know where the support is going to be at, but I wanted to see if it can retap back here. Obviously, it did end up pushing there, but as you can see here, like this next 4-hour candle that happened, it gave us a strong pullback. I'm pretty sure this probably was like 2,000 pips. My fault. 2,000. Yeah, 2,000 pips. 200 pips. 200 points. My fault for people that trade futures, right? So that was a nice pullback for the buys, aka that became a support structure, and then it finally made its way back to that low, right? So that's just something to think about when it comes to trading 30. I ain't gonna go too much into all my mythologies. Get the book if you want it, or obviously join the academy if you want that. Last and not least, let's go get into gold. This was the sell play that we had called out. I caught so many trades now. Like I remember for people that follow me on Instagram, like the Trade with A page, I was like dropping every day when I was dropping all my setups. But I'm like, bro, for what? Like occasionally I still do it, but like I look back, I'm like, if I feel like posting and just showing y'all, cool. Lately I haven't been screenshotting like the before and after just as much as I have in the beginning, but it's happening so like it's hitting so much so fast. Like I literally the sell limit activated for me here. Caught the buys, boom. Sell limit activated. Dozed off, went to sleep. Woke up to TP 1, 2, and 3 smacking. I woke up at 8:30. I literally when the time I woke up on Friday. I think I woke up around like 7 or 8 something. No, it was like after 8:30 I think. And obviously as you can see, by the time I woke up, trade has my TP. But this week on gold, last week don't matter. Like I always say, new week, new results. I'm not gonna delete everything on here. I'm gonna just do this. We can get rid of this sell play because that's gonna be invalid. I want to say. What are we seeing on gold? Pretty simple. Overall downtrend. overall downtrend, overall downtrend, overall downtrend. This is essentially just a pullback, right? From the low standpoint, our lower lows, this was just pullbacks. So same concept I'm gonna look for today. Now that I'm looking at it, honestly, I was gonna say something, but maybe cap, maybe cap, maybe cap, maybe cap. All right, so we might see two scenarios that can happen. I'm not gonna use the black one. Let's go here. It could retest this and then just immediately sell off. And then if it doesn't break back below here, if it does break back below here, then we know cool, lower high, take sales back down to down here. Right? That's option one. Option two, I'm not giving you entries for that, I'm just showing y'all the scenarios of what's gonna potentially happen. Option two is it can hit here, push here, retest back to here, act like it's breaking, not gonna break. You might think that it's about to break. Momentum is looking strong. If it doesn't break within the next however long, depending on what candle it happens on, it's not gonna break. It's gonna create a higher low. It's gonna start creating buy momentum, and then you're gonna randomly see gold break out again for the buys. And it's probably gonna come to this level here. And if it does run to this stretch right here, that's cool too, because this is the other previous high from last week. And that's really like a genuine thought process of what we could look for over here on gold. So here, realistically, it's no reason it should go that far. It should probably like come here, right? So this could be a buy area. We take buys off of this back to this high right here, and then if it runs and break, we go here. If it breaks here, creates a lower high. If it ain't even about if it creates a lower high. If it breaks here, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna pull back and create a price trap area. This is the previous resistance, right? Price trap. Then it's gonna continue to push here, and then it's gonna push out for the buys. Or for all we know, it could just run off again, which we wouldn't care because we will already be in the sales anyway. So like that's the overall concepts of what I'm looking for on gold. I'm trying to see. I guess I can give y'all a trade, but I already essentially just gave it to y'all. Sell entry would be honestly the same sell setup that I gave y'all. Well, y'all didn't get it. For my students that's watching this, same sell setup I gave y'all in Discord already, but something like this. But the thing is, this entry you have to be patient and wait for it, right? So like I just said, we want to see a push first. We're not entering out the break because you're gonna get caught in liquidity to grab. We need to see the pullback first, and then you can either enter out the pullback down here or you can enter out the shoulder, however you choose. That's what validates the setup. If it does this, if it starts pulling back and then it never pulls back again for the sales, obviously it's not about to go for the sales. So this shouldn't even be a trade that you entered anyway down here. Obviously it's gonna push up for the buys, and then same concept like I said before. This creates a higher low. We take buys here and we look to target the highs. So I guess for right now I'm gonna give y'all what is gonna be the sell play, and then target back to the previous zone structure down here. Or if you want standard TPs, my personal like how I would trade it, I would go TP1 here and then TP2 here. And then on the flip side, for the buys, we're going to go full. If it retests here, starts consolidating, honestly, we can do it like this. 40-10. So that way you get a retest back to that zone. And then once it pushes back out, that's the trade. 4,000 be tight stop loss. And then you're going to target the high again, which would be right here at 40-20 for TP1. And then, like I said, I got a feeling it could push up into here. So that would be like my third TP option. It's going to be a fire buy entry. I'm not going to lie. If the buys play out, I can see this. So TP1, TP2, TP3. Let me get rid of this trend line so I don't confuse nobody. Beautiful trade. And then once you get up here, I'll probably drop a sell setup in the chats. So be on the lookout for that. And then, like I said, down here, I gave y'all the sell play for that as well. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's market analysis. This definitely was a long video. It might be longer than the first one I did. Can't remember. But I know somebody out there that need these trades or appreciate the type of value that I'm releasing to y'all every week. So all I ask for y'all, leave a like for me, leave a comment for me. Even if it's just a fire emoji or something, just leave something to help me with the algorithm, help me see that y'all really plugging in, that y'all tapping in. and not just watching the video. Like how you watch a video all the way to the end right now and you still don't like the video. That's just diabolical. I ain't gonna lie. But all right, I'll catch y'all next week, and I'll catch y'all later on this week as well with the recap of how our trades actually played out based off of these setups here. Peace out.